Rheinland was ordered under the name Ersatz Württemberg, replacing the ironclad of the same name. She was laid down on June 1st, 1907 at A.G. Vulcan in Stettin, and was also built in secrecy. She was launched on September 26, 1908, being christened by Queen Elizabeth of Romania. She was fitted out by the end of February 1910, and she was given limited sea trials before she was commissioned into the High Seas Fleet on the 30th of April. More trials were conducted in the Baltic. After her trials, she was brought back to Wilhelmshaven, where most of her crew was transferred to the new battlecruiser von der Tann. Her crew was replenished with crew from the decommissioned pre-dreadnought Saringen. Like her sisters, she was assigned to 1st Battle Squadron. Rheinland took part in the summer cruises to Norway in 1911, 1913, and 1914. Rheinland participated in nearly every fleet advance during the First World War, including the bombardment of Scarborough, Hartlepool, and Whitby, the Battle of the Gulf of Riga, the bombardment of Yarmouth and Lowestoft, the Battle of Jutland, the naval action of the 18th to the 22nd of August, and the expedition to Finland. At Jutland, she, along with the rest of her sisters, engaged the 2nd Light Cruiser Squadron and HMS Black Prince. During the battle, Rheinland was hit by Black Prince's 6-inch guns, the rounds cutting the cables to her searchlights. 45 minutes later, she opened fire on what was possibly HMS Ardent. Rheinland, unlike her three sisters, did not stand guard at the Jade Estuary after the fight. During the battle, she fired 35 11-inch shells and 26 5.9-inch shells. 10 men were killed and 20 were wounded in the salvo from HMS Black Prince. In early 1917, she was on sentry duty in the German Bight, but her crew became unruly due to poor food quality in the summer of that year. She didn't participate directly in Operation Albion, but was in the Baltic to prevent the British from supporting the Russian forces. During the expedition to Finland, she and Westphalen were tasked to deliver and support German troops to take Hanko and Helsingfors before proceeding to Danzig to refuel. However, heavy fog was encountered and Rheinland ran aground on Lagskar Island at 0730 hours. 2 men were killed and the ship was badly damaged. 3 boiler rooms were flooded and the inner hull was pierced. Initial efforts to refloat the ship proved fruitless. The crew was removed and were stationed on the pre-dreadnought Schlesien. On May 8th, a floating crane was brought in from Danzig to remove the main guns, turret armor, and bow and citadel armor in order to lighten the ship by about 6,400 metric tons, or a third of her normal displacement. That still wasn't enough, so pontoons were brought in and she was finally refloated on the 9th of July, but for her the war was over. She was towed to a place with a name that I'm about to butcher really badly. Mariam? Mariam? Anyway, she was towed there, where some repairs were made, and eventually with the help of tugs she limped back to Kiel. She was decommissioned on October 4th and put into service as a barrack ship in Kiel. After the High Seas Fleet scuttled in Scapa Flow, Rheinland was given as war reparations to the Allies and was sold for scrap on June 28, 1920, being dismantled in Dordrecht in the Netherlands. Her bell is preserved at the Military History Museum of the Bundeswehr in Dresden.